Hello, Money Queens and listeners. Welcome to Women Behind the Millions. Let's meet the women behind the millionaires, the women supporting, guiding, celebrating women with their wealth. You will hear from women millionaires, how they got there, what they wish they had known, what got them to be a millionaire, the emotional side, the spiritual side, the practical side of wealth. You'll also get to meet the women behind the scenes helping make it happen. Let's dive into Women Behind the Millions. I am Jessica Weaver, your host, bestselling author of 3 books, wealth advisor, and founder of the Women's Wealth Boutique. Let's start meeting the women. Hello, Money Queens. Welcome back to Women Behind the Millions, where we talk all things pink, power, and prosperity. You can go ahead and scan the QR code, jump on our newsletter so you know who is up next for our TV show, along with our different events that we have throughout the year. We have some fun ones for 2026, including some Times Square billboards coming up and my own book, The Pink Code, that will be launching in the spring of 2026 too. Well, tonight's episode is Raising the She Economy in Miami. We are going to talk about where does real estate fit into your overall portfolio as a female investor. We're going to talk about the financial pressure that women face, often different than the ones that men face. And we're even going to get to, are women better investors? It's going to be a juicy topic, juicy episode tonight. So let's bring on our guest. She is Denise Sandkamp. She has 25 years of leadership experience at top-tier institutions, including American Express and Citibank. She brings a deep understanding of wealth management, strategic planning, and client advocacy. Her focus is empowering women, especially those post-divorce, nearing retirement, or looking to build financial habits early to take control over their financial future with confidence and clarity. She has her CrossFit program. She provides practical strategies tailored to the female brain and heart, which I do love, combining personalized financial planning with education and community support. So let's bring Denise to the stage. Hello, Denise. How are you tonight?
Hi, I'm doing great.
Thank you for being here. Well, I'm good. Thank you for asking. I am thrilled for you to be here. You are one of our authors of our new book at Pink Fix Productions. She nailed it. And I was so curious. I had gotten to know you. You are a wealth advisor at the Wealth Boutique. And I was so curious once I found out you also have a real estate license. What brought you into the real estate world? Let's start there, and then we'll talk about your evolution into becoming a wealth advisor.
So basically, 2 aspects here. The first one is I'm in the whole financial planning, the holistic financial planning area. And I think, especially in Miami, you can't look at anybody's portfolio without including their real estate. And there are moments or years when it's really a better idea to include some real estate or to sell real estate than others, but you just can't leave it out in Miami. And as I really want to be the best for my clients, I thought it's best I have my own real estate license so I can do those deals for them as well.
You seem like a lifelong learner too, where there's always something for you to educate yourself on.
There absolutely is. And I'm at the moment actually even studying for my CFP again to be the best for my clients and have the complete full background. I know you have a CFP. It's not an easy exam. It's a lot of material. And I recently actually Googled different agents, but there are people older than me who passed the CFP before. So I am hopeful. But regarding the real estate also, in Miami at one point, will cross your mind, should I invest into real estate, right? And I did that very successfully. I made my first million at 50 years old, I want to say, through real estate, by computing real estate in my portfolio. And that really timing was wonderful. I think I had a lot of help from upstairs as well. It was during the pandemic and things could have gone both ways in real estate. And for Miami, it really was, I think those were the best years as people couldn't really travel outside of the country and wanted to come to Miami and stay here, rent here, and then eventually everybody found out how wonderful it is to live in Miami and wanted to buy a home here.
Divine timing. But true, I know so many people. I'm in New Jersey, fled New Jersey to go south. And I'm one of those hot markets in Miami. So when you had that intuition to purchase, and you said help from upstairs, right? That divine timing from God, that having that time frame of when you did these transactions as well. You've had quite a journey in your life, Denise. You go talk about it in your chapter. I find it fascinating. Can you tell us about growing up? You obviously have an accent. You're not from Miami originally. Can you talk to us about your childhood?
So yeah, I grew up in Germany with German parents and went to the German school system. I did all of my education, including my MBA, even in German. But since I was very young, about 4 years old, I learned that I'm adopted, actually. My twin sister and me were told by our parents, German parents, that on one of their business, my father was an engineer and he was working in Latin America for about 15 years. And one of these jobs that he had there, supervising a big project in Colombia, they got in touch with a local priest, basically, who was a German, taking care of the German community in Colombia, and told them they couldn't have children. And he helped them to get my sister and me, basically. And it was always okay for me. I grew up very German. I've been in Miami for 25 years. I speak Spanish and Portuguese, different languages, but I still can't get rid of my German accent in all of these languages. So I came to Miami as a German and became really much in touch with my Latin side here. Miami, everybody speaks Spanish. We have Zumba, salsa, all of this. What I didn't know is really that this was a step in my journey to find my birth mother in Colombia.
Wow.
Yeah. So long, very, very long story short, very much a Latin American telenovela. But I ended up meeting her for the first time last year, basically, 2025, in April. And this came about through 23andMe, some personal contacts. Again, a lot of divine planning and incidences. And people know each other from German schools. It basically turns out most of my Colombian family went to the German school in Bogota because it was a very good school. And many of them speak German. And their children, my cousin's children, and so on. My birth mother, speaks German and French. She went to the Swiss school. So it's amazing. And it was very, very emotional and just such a blessing to just get to know about. I had a great life. I grew up, but I had a great childhood in Germany, everything. But then to really get to your roots as well. And at this long age, when I lost my mother, basically my German mother, adoptive mother, had passed away, then to meet my birth mother and now have a mother again that I can call and reach out to is really a different kind of blessing.
There just seems so much love as you even talking about your parents, your birth mother, and then to be reunited. What an incredible story. You even write in a chapter, I mean, what a goosebumps moment that someone in your family lived in the same building that you lived in.
Yeah.
Like you were meant to cross paths at some point.
There were so many coincidences, like you only see in movies and these things that's completely made up. But for example, my twin sister named her daughter Carlotta. And we came to find out that our mother's mother was called Carlotta as well. And she was the one who forced her to give us up for adoption because she wasn't married back then and all of this. But,
oh my goodness. Wow. And I'm sure not a day went by that your mother didn't think of both of you.
Yeah. She told us that. Yeah.
Oh, how beautiful. And now you get to extend your family, extend that love and heart as well. So amazing. Well, it's hard to top that story, Denise, but I want to share with everybody a little bit about She Nailed It. Do you want to see a promo for the book?
Yes, absolutely.
Let's do it.
Exciting.
In life, we all face valleys, moments of pain, challenge, and struggle. But it's what we do in those moments that defines us. She nailed it. Inspiring stories of going from valley to victory brings together powerful women who turned adversity into strength and strength into purpose. Led by Danette Galvis with chapters from inspiring voices including Terry DeGrande, Erica Butler, Corey Beth Lepowski, Teresa Todd, Catherine Sorensen, Katika Estevez, Christina Good, Denise Sandkamp, Megan McDermott, Kristen Williams, and Jessica Weaver. These stories will inspire you to believe in your own comeback, reminding us all that victory is always possible. She nailed it. Inspiring stories of going from valley to victory. Available now on Amazon. One book, countless stories of hope. Get your copy today. There it is. She nailed it. You can now grab your copy on Amazon. It is a bestseller. It had an amazing day. It's just so incredible. The book proceeds go towards a sober living house down in Texas that is run by Danette. Amazing, just, resources to give back to women. And you are all about that, Denise, empowering women. When did you know this was your calling?
I knew that it's my calling and a great opportunity when I was actually still in corporate America. And I was pitching an idea to big institutions, which names I don't want to mention right now. But I had this vision and this idea to really, because I was talking to girlfriends about it all the time, to really offer in a product that would be exclusively for women in the wealth management area, and would be not just looking at investments, not just looking at money, but overall really bringing the female community even on a global level together. And what you very much do also in the Wealth Boutique, it's all about wealth management, but it offers so much emotional support as well, because money is very emotional, especially for women. They want to trust people with their money, and every money story is an emotional story, right? So you bring the divorce person is there in the background. You have the emotional support person for mental health, addictions, and so on. And this is something that is really a big part when we talk about wealth management, right? So when I had this idea about this all-encompassing holistic financial product for women, because I just came from American Express, I was taking care of the Centurion Black Card members in Latin America, and I was thinking it's a big niche to create something that really women want to be part of. And if a woman is part of it, it shows that the woman really has an interesting background, right? But it wasn't really heard. I think that's then the other point. But women, we want to be heard. We want to be understood. And I was talking to some of these male leaders, strategy leaders, and they thought women in wealth is something that is more handled in events and tactical, and like that's all we need. So then I did a focus group with my girlfriends. I was like, if there was a product like that, what are different benefits that you would like, or what is important? And I saw that everybody was so excited. Oh my God, if that ever existed, something wealth management for women, that we can get everything in one place that we need, everything financed. So that's basically when I get to the idea a few years ago. And then when I've left corporate America, it was a no-brainer that's where my calling and my purpose is. And it's just, I never thought, because it's not so intuitive. Wealth management, it's money that has nothing social, but it's really not intuitive, that it's real more of an the humanitarian aspect of it, right? But you can help so many people, because people are lost, and especially women, sometimes they think they don't build wealth, they don't help themselves or even the economy by just not doing anything. By just standing still and having the money in a checking account or under the pillow, and really to empower them and give them the clarity and confidence and help them to progress and be successful in that area is something really fulfilling.
Yes. You often quote throughout your chapter Proverbs 31, one of my favorites. She considers a field and she buys it. From her profits, she plants a vineyard. Why does this speak so much to you, Denise?
it's a little bit of my Miami and wealth story because that's how it started. And I found Miami as my spot, and then I found real estate really and different spots throughout the city. It's always such a special feeling if you find an object and a project to invest in. And then the vineyard part really is a fun side aspect. So in the end, it's all about provision and faith, right? And being faithful that you're at the right spot at the right time. And even if it wasn't the right decision at one point, you know that God will put you where you're ultimately supposed to be. But then the vineyard is a really fun side aspect because my name, apparently Denise, is that's the one who brings the wine. It was a wine goddess, I think, at one point. And I do very much like different red wines. And so basically it speaks to me. It speaks to me in very different levels.
Amazing. You talk about P&P in the chapter as well. You wanted to give us a little taste of what does P&P stand for and how do you use it and teach other women to use it?
So P&P is really, it stands for Prince and Prayer. So I'm a big Prince fan. I saw him in many different concerts in Frankfurt, in Germany. I saw him live, of course, and I ran into him in a club one, like in my early 20s sometime, and walked just by me. So it was great, amazing. And so what I really, it's a little bit of a soul food or soul soothing routine for me, which I call P&P, is Prince and Prayer. So when you just get really, really quiet with the Lord, and you pray and you pour out his heart and you hear his voice and you feel that strong love, basically. And then when you're in the mood, I usually blast the Prince, the most beautiful girl in the world. It's such a masterpiece. And it's just an overall very uplifting routine that always helps me to move forward.
Oh, it sounds very grounding for you.
You're the reason that God made a girl. So it's just sometimes we forget how wonderful all of us are because we struggle, we handle, we challenge. We have a lot of challenges and juggle a lot of things at the same time as women.
Yes. You talk about the financial pressures women face and you raising your boys, being a single mother, raising your boys. What were the pressures that you felt and what do you see a lot of women struggling with?
I think as a single mother in general, it is you're the main provider of the house, even though if the father is in the background, it also pays. But usually it's never taking care of everything because there's so many, the birthday gifts, the soccer party, so many different things that all add up, right? And you want to make sure that your children don't feel any difference after the divorce. And before it was 2 earners and now it's 1 earner. So that's a little bit of an extra pressure. And it's really we feel that this whole thing about our children, we want to make sure that they don't feel any lack and they want to see somebody confident, right? Mm-hmm. So not just you have to be the rational provider and hold it all together, but you're also the emotional strength for them.
Yes, I was just reading a book and he was talking about, he's an advisor starting his own firm. Because you can't dump your problems on your family, your work problems on your family. They're your biggest cheerleaders. And if they see you kind of starting to crumble, they're going to lose that hope and that confidence in you as a provider. And they're working their tails off to keep everything at home going. So as you're talking about that, not even having that spouse to lean on, but you keeping it together, keeping everybody hopeful, stability, security for them, that is a lot to keep in. Did you find outlets? How did you nourish yourself during this time and continue to do so?
I always say it takes a village. And for me, the village is the church has been such a stronghold for my children specifically, or the church that I go to, Miami Root Church. That's been a very quickly growing church, but they've always focused on the next generation. They've always had the Sunday schools, then they had high school small groups, now they have college small groups. And it's just to make sure your children can go there and they have the seat. And they also, I know they reach out to their youth leaders when there's things they don't want to talk to me about. And I know the youth leaders reach out to them. And that's just, and from the beginning, there've always been opportunities to get involved in the city. I loved it. For example, I walked on downtown Miami or Brickell Avenue, which are the Wall Street of Miami, basically. But just a few blocks behind in the government center, that's where all the homeless are. And every Saturday when the kids were little, we went with church groups and we fed the homeless there. And I just thought that's a privilege, just a few blocks from where I am, to really be able to get involved and help and have my children come to that as well. So they see that not everybody gets to live the way they live. And it's important to support the community and make sure that everybody has a chance and can do well.
Oh, that's beautiful. What an example you're setting for them. And we need that in today's environment with social media and everybody's super flashy with everything that's going on. What can we ground down in as a family through God, religion, giving back, community, and you bringing all that in together for this amazing experience for them. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to do a showcase of the Pink Fix merch. And we'll be adding a new thing for the She Nailed It book. And then we're going to get into our last segment where we're going to talk about, are women really better investors? Stay with us, ladies. Welcome to the Pink Fix Shop, where rebels, trailblazers, and legacy builders find their voice in every sip, stitch, and page. From best-selling teas to manifesting mugs, every item is designed to spark conversation and celebrate your story. Start building your legacy in style, only at pinkfixproductions.com. We are back with Denise Sandkamp. She is a wealth advisor. She also has a real estate license. So we're talking about real estate, women's portfolios, and are women better investors? So I'm curious, what do you feel are strong traits of women with investing? And then what are some ones that we could work on or maybe take on some of more the masculine traits of it? What do you think, Denise?
So I think the key ones are that we are more long-term wired, right? So we really are more strategic usually and think about the long term. Very less ad hoc, when investors really jump at different opportunities and jump around a lot, it's usually not the best end result. So women, I think we have a little more of that strength and the long-term thinking, and that comes also with the responsibility. We think about the family, we think about how different things work together, right? And we also think about what's going to be in 20 years, when we don't think about only, making a quick buck now, we want our money to last as well. And I was checking back with ChatGPT also real quick in the break. There's different studies around this, how women really, once they learn and they do get involved in investing in the stock market, that they do outperform men. Not by much, but they do. And I think that's only going to grow while more women also get involved.
Yes, I've noticed that too. More long-term focus. They also seem to be slower to make decisions, wanting to get more educated, but then they stick to that decision. Whereas men will be quicker to pull the trigger, get invested, but they might flip-flop. Again, short-term focus versus long-term. And I've seen studies similar, Denise, where that leads women, they're more conservative, but because they commit to it and they ride the course out, they end up doing better, which is really interesting. So when we talk about like the lack of confidence women have with investing, which comes with education and just being more experienced and getting your foot wet and in the door with investing. But that ends up making them better investors, which is so interesting, right? The trait that we thought would kind of not allow us to be as good of investors is one of the traits that is actually giving us a better return.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly where you and us all with the Wealth Boutique come in, right? To really stand in that gap for women and helping them to get started and educating them and really creating that clarity and opportunity for them. I think one point still to work on sometimes is that women, we often think we have to do it all alone, right? Mm-hmm. To really help more women to understand, to reach out, especially in the financial area. It's a difficult field. You can't solve it by trying to get ChatGPT to write your financial plan. It's not at that level yet. It unfortunately doesn't always have the right answers either. But it's really that step to see. I want to get into investing. I want to be smart about my money, and I want to work with a trusted partner, right? And then reach out and look for that help. And that's something that we women, we think we have to do it all alone and do our own research. And that's sometimes not the best trait, not the most helpful trait.
Very true, Denise. Well, we just have one more question for you. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
What makes you a woman behind the millions?
What makes you a woman behind the millions?
So, a woman behind the millions, really, I want to be that woman to help other women to get to the millions. And I'm right now, you see my background. It's funny enough, but actually what you see there in Miami Beach, it's called the Millionaires Row. I'm right behind it. So that's officially here, the woman behind the millions. But it's just, I think, the holistic picture, everything that makes a woman great, the long-term thinking, the responsibility to really build on my own wealth and help other women to accomplish their goals and wealth management as well.
And I would say to rebel against what the industry was telling you to do. You've had this idea and you say, if you're not going to do it with me, I'm going to move forward with it. And you did that because you thought of all of these women. Even in your chapter, you talk about women going through divorce and you taking the time for them to find their sanctuary in real estate. And now you're also helping execute it on the wealth side. Is a reason you're a woman behind the millions, Denise. Yeah. And thank you so much for being on our show tonight, for being an author of Gifted. And everybody stay tuned because after this episode, we have Danette's own show, She Nailed It, that we are producing at Pink Fix Productions. And she's going to go into more of these authors. So stay tuned and we will see you next week on another episode. Thank you, Money Queens and ladies, for tuning in.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Money Queens, looking to get your wealth to that next level, 7 figures? Follow us on Instagram at Pink Fix My Money and at Women's Wealth Boutique for more millionaire money tips.